Welcome to the Foods Lab. We need to go over some things before you begin your meal planning lab. First of all, I wanted to talk with you about garlic and some terminology with garlic. Keep in mind that this is a head of garlic. The whole thing is a head of garlic. This is a clove of garlic. One method that is really easy is just to cut off both ends and then use the side of a knife to just loosen the skin around the clove and then peel that back. You can buy specific tools for this, but they're costly, and unless I were doing a whole bunch of garlic, I wouldn't bother with that. There are a lot of different ways to cut up garlic. One way is to just use your largest chef's knife and cut it into very, very small pieces. One way that I like to use that's fast and easy, I call it the bash technique, and I just put the clove of garlic under a big wide chef's knife and then hit it really hard, and that gets the garlic ready for the recipe. It works really well, and you can just put it into your recipe. Another method that you can use for garlic is to use a garlic press. This is a garlic press, and I just put it in there, and then if I have strong hands and it's fresh garlic, I can just push it like this. But if you ever have trouble pushing it, all you need to do is lean on it with your elbow and it will push through. And there's the garlic all ready to go. With onions, oftentimes you don't need an entire onion. So to begin with, what you can do is just cut off one end and then score around the onion just by rolling the knife through just the skin. That way you're only taking off the outer skin, and any onion that you don't use, you can just leave the skin on, and that helps it preserve. So I would only need to use this much, and the skin would help preserve the rest of the onion. I'm going to show you how to use a mandolin, but what you want to look for when you're shopping is make sure that you look for ones that have very long spikes, so that whatever you're using the mandolin for will stick on there and hold steady. If you get the little tiny short spikes, it falls off as you go to cut it. A mandolin typically will allow you to cut at different depths. I can adjust this plate so that I can have a very thin slice, or on this mandolin there are some little blades that pop up, and I can actually slice it thin and cut it into smaller pieces. So the first step is just to place whatever it is you're going to cut firmly on the spikes, line it up the way the arrows are, and then all you need to do is slide it across those, and you end up with sliced and diced onions. Many times people will buy the broccoli with just the florets. It's more expensive that way to just buy the florets, and there's nothing wrong with the stem. Many people just don't know how to work with the stem in cooking. So first thing you're going to do is get rid of the dried up end, and then you need to peel the stem of the broccoli. If it's very fresh broccoli, all you need to do is put a paring knife underneath the edge of the outer fibrous covering and then just pull back, and it will pull off. But sometimes it's not as fresh and it's harder to pull back. So in that case, what you can do is just use a vegetable peeler to peel that outer membrane off of the broccoli. Another method that you can use to peel that broccoli stem is to blanch the stem. Blanching is used to remove peels off of tomatoes, off of peaches. In this case, it will be off of the broccoli stem. And I'm just going to put that in hot boiling water for just a couple minutes. It makes it easy to slide off. It works great for peaches. You just put them in hot boiling water, then immediately into cold water, and the peach skin just slides right off. The same thing with tomatoes. When you're blanching either fruits or vegetables, you need to make sure and check on, see how long they need to be in the hot water, and then how long in the ice water. So I'm going to put just a little bit of broccoli into the water so that you can see the difference in color. It will brighten the color. You want to cut the florets into bite-sized pieces, and there are several ways to do that. One way is just to go to the stem and cut it into smaller pieces here, and then break those apart. Keep in mind that bite size is the size of a grape, not the size of a golf ball. We want them bite-sized. So there's the florets that could be used in the salad. For your recipe, you will not be blanching, but I want to show you what the blanched stem looks like. Look at the difference in color from the broccoli that was blanched versus the one that is not blanched. Now, this has been blanched. It was in the hot water, and look how much easier it is to peel all of that outer tough membrane off of the broccoli stem. In your kitchens, you have a knife block. And in the knife block, there are different kinds of knives. I like to suggest that when you purchase knives, if you steer away from buying a whole block, then you can buy knives as you love them. Most kitchens will have a chef's knife. This is an 8-inch chef's knife. You want to buy knives based on what you like. 2 knives to begin with is usually pretty good. You don't need to buy the whole set. This is a chef's knife. This is a paring knife. This is called a utility knife. This is a Sudoku knife. These little dimples on the side here make it so that as you chop the food, it releases easily from the blade. This is a bread knife, and this is a smaller utility knife. And this is a honing steel. The honing steel should be used first. Basically, you'll use this to keep the blade in alignment. With knives, the knife blade comes to a point, and as you use it, the knife blade will either be knocked to one side or to the other, and the honing steel just aligns it so that that blade remains nice and or straight and aligned. The sharpening, when you use a sharpening stone, actually removes part of the metal. So you don't want to sharpen as often as you hone. You also have some utility scissors in your block that will help you with food preparation in lab. When you do the bacon, oftentimes we'll have you do the bacon in the microwave. So in your recipe today, those of you that are doing the bacon, just take the bacon, put it in the bottom of a glass cake pan. You'll put the bacon in there, then make sure that you cover it with paper towels. You'll need enough space so that you can tuck them underneath. Then you'll place this in the microwave, set the microwave on 4 minutes. When 4 minutes is done, remove the paper towel, move the bacon around, cover it over again, and then do it at 1 minute increments until the bacon is crisp. Then you're going to take the bacon out, use the same paper towels to blot the excess grease off of the bacon, crumble it at this point, using the same paper towels to blot up the rest of the grease. Remember that in lab you cannot recycle the cans that we use that have grease in them, so you're going to put any extra grease and these paper towels down in a can and then put them in your regular garbage can. It is a broiling pan. We talked last time about how you turn your oven on broil. This is the broiling rack. This is the broiling tray, and it's set up so that anything that drips through the broiling rack will be caught in the broiling tray. Sometimes it's helpful to put aluminum foil in here just for cleanup, and then you'll just set your oven for broil. The distance from the broiling unit makes a difference in cooking. So if I have a thick piece of meat, I want the thick piece of meat probably farther from the broiling unit so that it can cook uniformly throughout. Ones that are going to go quickly, I can put them a little closer to the broiling unit. Another thing that you have in your kitchen is a tray. These trays are used for you to gather ingredients. It makes a lot more sense for one student to go to the cart where the perishable items are and gather all of the perishable items on the tray and bring them back to the kitchen. Have another student go up to the non-perishable section and get the non-perishables and bring them back on the tray. Never should you take anything from the cart or from the non-perishables to your kitchen. That way everyone has access to them. If you take them to your kitchen, then no one knows where they are. So today we'll be making soup, salad, and muffins. Good luck, students.